Hello everyone, I'm Batpan, about to play scary games. In today's video, we're gonna cover something that is gonna take your game dev skills to another level. This is something that I've learned recently and it helped me a lot, and I said I have to make a video about it, so it is recommended to watch it till the end. This video is gonna be put inside a series of videos covering you the tips and tricks, which you can actually check out through the channel. I've published my retro psychological horror game called Fractured Psyche. If you're into this stuff, you can actually check it out with a link in the description. It's both available on Windows and Android. With all that being said, let's put on the mask and begin. So this trick that I've learned recently, actually, I was making static game objects and game managers, and some idea came into my mind and I said, why did I just do it faster? I actually told you in a video before, for example, I'm gonna make some scripts. For example, I'm gonna create a new folder. I'm not gonna name it for now. I'm just gonna open it. I'm gonna create a script. I'm gonna say parent, for example, on the line, I don't know, M. I also have another script. I have child, for example, child 1, and I'm gonna call it, for example, interact. These are just simple stuff that I'm gonna mention. There's a condition, for example, that happens a lot in game development. That is, if you want to reference this script inside another script. So if I have some function inside here, for example, I have a public void. I'm gonna call it change name, for example, and I'm inside this parent script. And for example, I want to say, if I put, for example, if I press escape, I want to run this function, for example, this change name, which actually, for example, says debug.log changed, for example, name. So how do you reference this? Call this function from another script. So normally you actually cannot, just say, for example, change name. You see, there is nothing written for like change name inside it. One thing you could do, and I actually did in my game Fractured Psyche, which, spoiler alert, actually made it super confusing to work with, was I would just say public and give it this script's name, the script I want this void from it. So it is child_1 interact, and you're gonna give it a name, for example, child1 script. So, and then I would say just child1 script dot change name. Now if I go ahead and press escape, the debug.log is gonna say, for example, change name. So the escape key actually makes the game unfocused. For example, I want to say, if I press T, I want to do it. Then I have to give this script to a game object. I'm going to create an empty game object. I'm going to call it script holder. Then I'm going to give it these two scripts. It needs reference to this script, so I can drag and drop it here. Then when I go inside the game, I press T. You see this debug.log actually says, change name. So we know that this function works. So what if you have, for example, 10 or 20 scripts that you want to call in multiple scripts, not just one script? So what if we have 5 scripts that is going to call 10 scripts? Do we have to reference 50 times? The answer is no, you don't have to. But I actually did it for my game Fractured Psyche, which again I say made it super hard to work with. One thing you can do, you can put all of them inside one actual single reference script that is going to hold the reference to all those other references. So you see, this one script is going to hold the reference to all the other child scripts. So I make one parent and for example 5 childs. If I want to, for example, take child number 1, then I get the reference from the parents. I get a reference to the parents, then I get the child. I'm going to make a couple of more scripts. Child 2, for example, movement. These don't mean anything. I'm just gonna make more scripts so I can explain it a little bit better. Then for example, child 3, this is for VHS effect. 3 is enough. So right now, if you want to get a reference to these 2 other scripts, you have to, for example, say public child, for example, 3, then you give it a name. So instead of doing this, one thing that I did that actually saved me a lot of time was to make a reference parent that is going to hold a reference to all the other scripts. We can go ahead and create a mono behavior script, and then I'm going to call it the referencer for the childs. We don't need void start or void update. We don't need anything inside it. What we need inside it is a reference to all the other scripts that we need. We need a reference to child 3, child 2, child 1, and any script that we need a reference to. So for example, I'm going to say public child 1 interact child 1 script, then a reference to public child 2 script, and a reference to child 3 child3 underline script. This script actually holds a reference to all these three scripts. So if I want to access, for example, inside child2, I want to create a public void. I'm going to call it do a backflip. I want to say debug.log. I did a backflip. For example, child3, I want to create a public void. I say make underline videos. Then I say debug.log. I made a video. These are not important. These are just examples so you understand it a little bit better. Child1 actually has a value for change name. Child2 actually has a value for do a backflip, and child3 actually has a value for make videos. One thing you can do is you can get a reference to this referencer inside your parent. So instead of getting two references, you can just say public referencer. I'm going to say referencer underline script. And then you can instead of saying, for example, change name, you can say referencer dot, not this one, you say referencer script, the reference you made up here, dot child, for example, one script. You go inside this one, then you call it change name. And you're gonna see it actually does the same thing. It's not gonna do anything because I didn't give it to anything. So I don't need the parent right now. I have the referencer, which I'm gonna put on another empty object. I'm gonna call it referencer, and I'm gonna put the referencer on the referencer script. You don't have to do it, but I do it so it actually is more readable. Then I'm gonna put all the other scripts on my other object. Then I'm gonna reference it up here inside the referencer. See, I drag and drop it. It's not gonna do anything because we just deleted our parent script. So I'm gonna go inside my parent script. So parent underline M. It needs a reference to the referencer. So we just give it the referencer. Instead of giving it all these three childs, we just give it the referencer. And the referencer is actually a thing. For example, a connection that actually connects us to all the other childs. And if I press T now, you see, it actually does the same thing, but instead of referencing it 3 times, we just reference it 1 time. And any other reference that we need that is shared is going to be put inside the referencer. And if you want to make it easier to read, you can add a header. For example, say scripts. You don't have to use the referencer only for the scripts. You can do it for anything you want. Another way you can use the referencer, which actually makes it super easy, and you don't have to actually reference it anywhere. And I can just delete this because I don't have to have a reference in my script, is to make it a static, as I've told you in my previous videos. And what is a static? A static, if you make a static in Unity, for example, and I'm not gonna go deep inside it because I don't know that deep from statics. I just tell you the things that I know. So if you make a static of a script in Unity, that script is gonna be available in your scene, and you can just access it without needing to reference it. So if I make this script static, I can just say, for example, this referencer, get the instance or the reference inside the scene, then I can access anything inside it. How do we make this script static? So we can just say public static. We're gonna write the script's name, referencer, and what are we gonna call this reference and static method of this script? I'm gonna call it instance. Now we have a public reference to this script from anywhere in our scene, if we actually have it available in the scene. Right now, this single line will actually allow me to use this referencer in my scene from anywhere. So instead of doing that, we can just go inside my parent underline M. Instead of, you see, I don't have a reference up here. So how do I get a reference to that? I just say referencer, the script's name dot instance. You see, it comes up here, instance. That instance you made told my game and my scene that this reference is actually an instance of the script, and it is available in the scene. We have a public address to this script, and we can reference it from anywhere. But this object has to be available in the scene. So we say referencer.instance.child1 script. You see this address, we take this one, dot change name. This is the thing I learned, and this is the thing I use for my game. You see, if I go ahead and do it, you see that this one actually does the same. The one thing you have to do before checking it out and doing this static is to make it a singleton. So how do we make a singleton? We have to do it inside void awake. Void awake actually runs before void start, and it doesn't matter if the object is deactivated. It runs at the start of the game. We just make a void awake. Unity has a function for it. You can just say void awake. Then inside it, we check if we actually have an instance, if we have the object available in the scene. So we say if instance is equal to null. So if we don't have an instance in the scene, we make this instance, this script, the actual instance that we need for the scene. So we say instance is equal to this. So this is the script we have if we don't have an instance. But what if we actually have an instance? So if instance is not equal to null, there is an instance in the scene. So we just destroy that instance. So we say destroy game object, the game object that has the instance. And that is everything you have to do to make it a singleton and a static that you can use in your game. And you can just, not destroy this object and use it in multiple scenes. But I don't need it for the other scenes because this is the referencer for this scene. Yeah, that is it. We can go ahead and check it out. You guys can actually see. And when I press T, you see it says change name, and it actually ran the same function again and again. And it actually ran the same function this way. And I didn't just have to make a reference to public, for example, child1 interact, I call it child1, then make a reference to another, for example, child2 to make it child2. What I did was I made a single script called referencer, and then I put any reference I want inside that script. So this referencer script is actually a parent to all the other child scripts and any references we want. You can do it for any objects in the scene. For example, scripts or game objects or flows or integers, anything you want to, access without needing to reference. You can just make it a static so you don't, get to reference it anywhere. Say referencer.instance. You get the reference and you do anything you want with the reference. I want to, for example, do a backflip. I want to say if I press if input, for example, if I press G, I want to do a backflip. So I know the backflip is inside child2 movement. So what I do is I want to say referencer dot instance, get the instance from the scene, child2 script dot do a backflip. And that is what it does. And there was another thing for the VHS effect. It was make videos. So I say, for example, if I press R, I make videos. So you say referencer again dot instance, get the child3 dot make videos. As easy as that. Now you can see I go and I run the game. Don't look at Batman doing there. If I press T, it says change name. You see? If I press G, it does a backflip. If I press R, it makes a video. Say I made a video. This was a method that I learned and I actually used in my new game, and it actually helped me a lot when I was making game for the company I'm working at. It was a function that actually helped me, and I hope this function actually helps you as well. So if you guys enjoyed this video, you can give it a like, and you can actually subscribe to the channel to see more contents like this. This was actually a tip that I learned, and I hope you guys actually learned it as well. And for the comments, you can actually tell me anything in the comment section below. I actually read them all and I answer them all, and I'm so happy to do that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.